I've been getting a lot of questions about PCOS, what to do when you have PCOS, how to lose weight when you have it. And this guide, I'm going to show you how to take back control over your health if you do have PCOS. Okay, so first we're going to go over what PCOS is. PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome, and in basic terms, it's a hormone imbalance that affects 1 in 10 women of childbearing age. Okay, and now I'm gonna explain it in the most basic way possible. And what that means is your body is producing hormones in a way that doesn't feel balanced, and that can show up in, or that could show up as irregular periods, acne, extra hair growth, or difficulty losing weight. And a big part of PCOS is insulin resistance, which means your body doesn't use sugar from food properly. So instead of using it for energy, your body tends to just store it as fat. And that's why when you have PCOS, weight loss is going to feel like an uphill battle. And here's where I'm going to be super real with you. I honestly didn't even know what PCOS is when I first started coaching. But over time, more women um, started asking me more about it. And it just doesn't affect just your fitness goals. It affects your health, your confidence, and even your ability to have kids like in the long run. And this is why this webinar is super important. Okay. So here's why we need to address this. So PCOS is not it's not rare. It affects 1 in 10 women worldwide. And what makes it tricky is that it just doesn't affect just your weight. It affects your hormones. It affects your energy, and even how your body responds to food. And the truth is, like, if it's left unchecked, the symptoms just don't go away with time. Like, they usually just get worse. And that's why awareness and action is super important when you have PCOS. And for fertility, like, one of the most reasons why we need to address this as well is because of your fertility. Okay, so PCOS can prevent regular ovulation, which means it can be harder to conceive naturally. And even more than that, it takes an emotional toll on you. So many women feel stress, they worry, they even shame around something that is completely out of their control. And talking about it and creating an actual game plan is the first step of getting yourself out of that. How PCOS affects your weight loss is because PCOS often creates insulin resistance. Okay, so which makes your body store fat easily. This means that weight loss just becomes an uphill battle with cravings, hunger swings, and slower results, even when you feel like you're doing everything right. And that's why so many women with PCOS feel like they're broken. But the truth is, you're not broken. Your body just needs a different approach. And this doesn't affect just your body, it affects your mind as well. Studies show like women with PCOS are more likely to struggle with anxiety and depression. And that's not surprising considering the stress of weight struggles, fertility worries, and often feeling dismissed by doctors, right? So why we must address this now? Because if we don't, silence just makes it worse. Okay? It doesn't go away on its own, but lifestyle changes can drastically improve the symptoms. Okay? And the best part is you're not alone in this. There's thousands of women who have made incredible progress when they got the right support, and you can too. And here are the three things doctors often prescribe when they find out you have PCOS. Okay, so first is going to be birth control, and it's going to help regulate your cycles and hormones. As I said earlier, you get irregular periods when you have PCOS. Okay, but birth control is going to help you regulate the cycles. There's also metformin, which improves your how your body handles insulin. And they also give you fertility meds, which can boost ovulation even when you're trying to conceive. Okay, so these can all be helpful tools, but they're not the whole picture. Medication is just like a band-aid fix to what really needs to change. Okay, so in the group chat right now, put down medication is a band-aid fix. That's what it is. There's a lot of people out there that think that, oh, like if I gain weight, I'm just gonna take a drug and I'm gonna lose weight right away. But it's not. What you need to do is change your lifestyle, right? So here's a five-step plan to manage PCOS naturally. So step number one is to reset your nutrition. So the first step in managing PCOS naturally is just resetting your nutrition. And let me be clear, it's not about cutting out everything you love or going on an extreme diet. It's about creating balance that works with your hormones instead of against them. And one of the biggest challenges women with PCOS face is insulin resistance. And that's what makes fat loss feel impossible. Like because your body's holding on to more fat instead of burning it. But the good news is food can completely change the way your body responds. And this is why protein becomes your best friend. Because protein is going to keep you full longer, it's going to help balance blood sugar, and it's going to reduce cravings. And if you're aiming for at least 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, you're already putting your body in a much better place to manage PCOS symptoms. And I've had so many clients where they aim for 100 grams of protein per day, and they noticed that they tend to snack less, right? They get less cravings, they get less snacky. And the second piece is you also want more whole and nutrient dense foods. Okay, so pretty much anything that you find in the produce section and the meat section. So veggies, lean meats, eggs. Um, you also want more slow digesting carbs like oats, rice, and potatoes or sweet potatoes, right? These stabilize your energy rather than spiking and crashing your blood sugar. And last thing is you want to limit your processed carbs and sugar. Okay. So that doesn't mean like you can never have them like your ice cream ever again. It just means being more mindful. Because every time blood sugar spikes and crashes, PCOS systems get worse. So step one isn't about restriction, it's about building meals that help your body work with you rather than against you. Okay. So you always want to remember the 80-20 rule. So 80-20 rule is you want 80% nutrient dense foods, whole foods, and 20% the naughty foods, or like whatever you want. Okay, for more flexibility. Because if you're eating 100% of the nutrient dense food, it's not fun, right? Um, and again, like you're kind of restricting yourself from all the naughty foods as well, right? And it's not fun, like even when you go on a party or a vacation, it's not fun to just like focus on just the healthy food, right? And that's why with all my clients, it's always going to be 80% nutrient dense, 20% naughty foods for flexibility. Okay. The second step is strength training. And this is where the magic really happens for women with PCOS. So a lot of women get told by their doctor to just do cardio or just do more cardio or just work out more. And while cardio ha does have its place for heart health, it's not the game changer for PCOS. The game changer is strength training. And this is when you're actually building muscle, your body becomes more sensitive to insulin. That means you're like instead of storing more fat, your body can use food for energy more effectively. So in other words, lifting weights helps reverse one of the root causes for PCOS. Okay. The second benefit is a boosted metabolism. So the more muscle, and I've said this so many times already, more muscle means you burn more calories, even at rest. So the more time you spend in the gym pays off all day long, even when you're sleeping. And the third thing for strength training is that it's going to change your body composition. Okay, so women with PCOS often feel frustrated because they're either skinny fat or they're holding on to fat in extra areas. By lifting more weights, you're going to shape your body, you're going to build those curves and in the right places as well, and finally start to see the physical changes you've been working for. So instead of you being stuck in the treadmill, it's actually time to step into the weight room and actually lift weights because that's where the body starts fighting with you and rather than against you. So the third thing is you want to manage your stress and sleep. And honestly, this is one of the most underrated steps when it comes to losing weight. Because people tend to um, overlook sleep. They think calories in, calories out, working out more is what's going to help them. But honestly, if your sleep is whack, you're not going to have the energy to do all these things. Okay. And PCOS isn't just a hormone condition, it's a stress sensitive condition as well. Like when your stress levels rise, cortisol spikes. Okay. And cortisol is one of the hormones that makes PCOS symptoms even worse. High cortisol means more fat storage, right? Irregular cycles, worse cravings, right? When your body is in a state of high stress, your body is going to tend to cling on to more fat easier. Okay? And on top of that, if you're not sleeping well, it's like adding gas to the fire, right? Sleep is when your hormones are resetting. That's when your body is repairing. That's when you're actually building muscle and your appetite regulating hormones balance out. So without good enough sleep, everything is going to feel hard from the workouts to the cravings and to the mood, right? So sleep affects everything, okay? And here's the thing, like managing stress doesn't mean you need to meditate for an hour a day or book a spa retreat. It's about simple daily practices that help you reset. So it could be something as simple as taking a 15-minute walk or writing in your journal or practicing deep breathing, or just unplugging from your phone at night. That can make a huge difference. There's so many people that spend 2 to 3 hours just before they sleep in order to, or they spend 2 to 3 hours before they sleep just doom scrolling, right? That's not going to help your sleep whatsoever. That's just going to confuse your body to thinking it's still light outside, right? So, what you can do before you go to sleep is you want to shut the screens off, do something else like read a book, right? So the goal here isn't just perfection, it's finding one or two simple habits that lower stress and improve sleep quality. Because when stress levels go down, so when cortisol goes down, everything else is going to be easier to manage because it feels like you have more energy. Step four is you want to get some support and accountability. And I cannot stress this enough. Like trying to manage PCOS completely on your own makes it 10 times harder than it has to be. And I see this all the time with women. Like women feel like they should be able to figure it out by themselves. Like they read articles, they watch YouTube videos, TikTok videos, they try these random ass diets, and when it doesn't work, they feel like shit. They feel like broken. But the truth is, like, you're not broken. You just need the proper structure and support. Okay. And accountability just changes everything. Like having a coach to guide you or a community of women who are walking the same path takes away the feeling of doing this on your own, right? It's no longer you battling this alone. It's you with people in your corner. There's people encouraging you now. There's people that are keeping you consistent and reminding you why you started. And that's why in the Sata Sculpted method, like we have this community of women that are there to support you, right? So support reduces stress and it removes shame and it gives you more clarity on what actually works. Because if there's no one to guide you or there's no one that is in your corner when things go wrong, everything is going to be hard, right? And that's why women in an actual structured coaching program, they see actual results. Not because the plan is magical, but because they finally stop doing it all alone. So if you've been stuck, it's not because you're failing, it's because you're trying to fight this battle like without a team. And no structure as well, right? No accountability, no one to guide you. It feels like you're doing it all alone. And the final step when it comes to PCOS and fixing it is you want to focus on long-term consistency. So having this long-term mindset. And this is what most women struggle with the most. Okay? So health is forever. So type that in the Zoom chat right now. Because PCOS doesn't go in a way like it doesn't go away in a week. There's no magic diet or 30-day challenge that's gonna erase these symptoms. But what does make a big difference is just consistency over time. So the small daily choices you choose to make, like what you eat, how you move, how you manage stress, these add up into big, long-lasting changes. And this is why perfection is not the goal, progress is. And if you're consistent 80% of the time, that's when you're going to see major improvements in your energy, in your weight loss, in your cycles, and even in your fertility. And the women who win this battle are the ones who actually build habits that they can stick to for life. They don't go for extreme diets that bodybuilding coaches make you follow, right? They don't give you quick fixes. They just give you simple and sustainable changes that stack up over weeks, um, and months, which turn into 20 years, worth of progress. So if you think managing, so as you think about managing PCOS, ask yourself like, what's the one habit I can do today that I can also stick to within a year from now? And that's honestly when transformation happens. Okay. So we're going to go over all these again. So pretty much the 5-step game plan is to reset your nutrition. Okay. High protein, whole foods, 80-20 rule, 80% whole foods, 20% naughty foods, right? Strength training, you got to be training 3 times a week with a proper workout plan. Stress and sleep management, because if you don't have enough sleep, and if you're not able to manage your stress, energy levels go down, cortisol goes up, right? Support and accountability. So if you're doing this all alone, good luck. Honestly, that's going to be the hardest thing to do on your own. You need a team behind you. And again, you want this long-term mindset. So health is forever. There's no such thing as a quick fix. Lifestyle changes are the key. Okay. And you want to celebrate progress as well, like even the smallest wins, because you want to build habits that last you forever, not just for a few months. And that's how you win in life as well. Okay. So big highlights. I'm just going to take a moment to zoom out and bring everything together. So PCOS affects 1 in 10 women, and it affects so much more than weight. It touches your hormones, your energy, and your like even your ability to have kids, right? There's a lot of women out there that want to have kids. If you're not addressing this now, it's just going to be so much harder. Um, Number two, it makes fat loss harder because insulin resistance, cravings, and lower energy. And number three is like while doctors are prescribing things like birth control, metformin, fertility meds, those are only part of the picture. The actual solution is an actual lifestyle change, okay? Because these meds are just a band-aid fix. And the real power is again lifestyle changes. And also you gotta prioritize protein, building balanced meals, and strength training to build muscle and boost your metabolism. And also, you want to make stress and sleep non-negotiables. But the biggest takeaway from all this is you need consistency and support in order to see progress with your health. Okay. So you don't have to do this alone. Um, and you don't have to do it perfectly as well. You just got to keep on moving forward. And when you put these pieces together, not only you can change Can you change your PCOS systems, but you can actually transform your body, your confidence, and your future. And this is everything pretty much that we teach in the soft to sculpted method. Okay. But yeah, anyways, again, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you ever feel stuck, you could DM me on Instagram and Telegram if you have it. Anyways, other than that, peace out.